This is a proclamation or a declaration by a group of Levites. It was done, they made this proclamation, or really a prayer to Jehovah, after the wall around Jerusalem had been rebuilt back in 455 BCE. And this is what was said: You are Jehovah, the true God, who chose Abram and brought him out of Ur of the Chaldeans and gave him the name Abraham. You found his heart faithful before you. So you made a covenant with him to give him the land of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, and the Girgashites. Then it says, to give it to his offspring. And you kept your promises because you are righteous. And that's interesting, that last statement. How is righteousness, or Jehovah's righteousness, connected to Israel becoming his chosen people? They didn't, as a people, really merit it or deserve it, but the point is Jehovah honored his promise to Abraham. And that's why Jehovah is declared righteous by the Levites. They recognized that it was due to a promise made to their forefather that they were chosen by God as his nation, his people, and that he gave them the promised land. But the thing is that the idea of carrying out your words, that latter part there, or the second half of the scripture, and you proceeded to carry out your words because you are righteous. And that's what people do, people who are righteous, who have self-respect and who honor their promises. And Jehovah God expects us to always be true to our word, to honor our promises. Now, that's not easy to do. Sometimes we'll find ourselves in a situation where it may be quite difficult to follow through and honor our word. But consider what Jesus said. Remember the scripture at Matthew 5:37? Just let your word yes mean yes, your no, no. But then that interesting addition, for what goes beyond these is from the wicked one. Well, we know who the wicked one is. It's Satan, the devil. And his goals were deception and disruption. Satan had no intention of fulfilling what he promised Eve. In fact, he was incapable. He couldn't fulfill it. He told her, you will not die. That was a bald lie right from the beginning. And he was unable to comply with what he said. And isn't it true there are people like that today? They'll tell you things, they'll promise things, but they have no intention of fulfilling them. And those who do that are under the influence of Satan, the devil. There are things that we say yes to. There are promises that we make that we don't want to break. And foremost is our vow, our promise, our dedication to serve Jehovah forever. We say yes 3 times. The Watchtower pointed that out. It was interesting. We say yes when we are interviewed by an elder to become an unbaptized publisher. We say, yes, I want to be a Jehovah's Witness. And then we say yes again when we go over the questions for baptism, that we've dedicated our life to Jehovah and we want to serve him. We believe what the scriptures teach. We want to give our life to our God. And then the 3rd time we say yes when we're at the assembly. Usually it's an assembly where the baptism talk is given, and we answer the questions and say yes. And we make a public declaration of our dedication to Jehovah God. So we put our hand to the plow. We don't want to take our hand off the plow. We promised to fulfill our dedication vow, our promise in this regard. And really, that helps make us righteous in a sense. Not self-righteous, that's disgusting to God, but righteous in that we have self-respect. We're honoring our word. We want to honor our great God, Jehovah. There's another yes that we say that we want to be loyal to. That's the yes when we take the marriage vow. They should not be broken. The marriage vows, it's interesting about vows. Usually vows require us to do something. It's not that we get something when we make a vow, but usually if we make a vow, it's because we're going to do something. And that's the way it is with the marriage vow. It's to do things, to obey, to love, to cherish. For a wife, it's to respect deeply. But the marriage vow has more to do with giving than it has to do with receiving. And for those of us who are married, don't we appreciate the good effect it has on us to recognize that this arrangement, the marital arrangement, is from Jehovah? What a good thing that is. It makes it so much more powerful to have success in our marriage. We're more determined to honor our marriage arrangement. And there's something else, too. The binding power of our individual spiritual relationship with Jehovah plays a vital role in our marriage because we don't just see our mate, we see Jehovah. This is his arrangement. And if we honor Jehovah, we honor our word to him before him, then we're going to work very hard to make a success of our marriage. And as the years go by, we find genuine pleasure in our marital relationship. As time goes on, it gets better. Some people just put up with one another in a marital arrangement. That's not what Jehovah wants. Jehovah wants us to have a genuine friendship, intimate friendship with our mate, and to genuinely enjoy each other. There's a traditional maxim that says a man is as good as his word. Doesn't that tie in well with what we're discussing this morning? Jehovah, he certainly was faithful to his word. It makes me think of a brother that I know. He's a contractor, and a consortium, a group of investors got together, and they wanted him to run their company for them. And so he met with them, and he laid it out before them very, very straight. He said, look, he said, I live by certain Bible principles. I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses, so I want you to know at the outset that I will not take advantage of the client. I will not cheat the workers. I will be 100% honest in everything I do. I will not use inferior material. I'm going to follow the contract and do exactly as I should do. Now, if you can live with that, I'll take the job. Well, they said, fine, we want you. That's why we've approached you. But a little time went by, and a couple of the investors said, we could make more money, though, if you would cut a few corners here or there. And the brother then got together with all of them, and he reminded them, look, I told you at the outset where I stand on these things. Now, if you can't live with me being 100% honest in my dealings with all of these things, then I'm leaving. I don't need the job. Well, of course, they rallied then, and they said, oh, no, please, because they had an honest man. After all, if he wouldn't cheat the client, if he wouldn't deal harshly or wrongly with the employees, he certainly isn't going to cheat the investors either. So what a beautiful thing, being a man of one's word and following through. It brings honor to Jehovah. And doesn't it make us happy when we hear experiences like that of brothers who are firm and stand up? They're not afraid to stand firm for what they know is right. They're people of their word. And Jehovah undoubtedly blesses them.